So, you're at a loss for what to do in REND. You're looking for tips. I got you. Hi, this is Zeke from Streamerhouse, and I've done some prep work to show you guys a bit of a quick start guide for those just jumping into REND, which is a new survival game from Frostkeep Studios. It'll be a little bit more apparent with the visual and animation nature, but Frostkeep Studios is backing in World of Warcraft and WildStar development. But REND is unlike any other survival game in the market today, and it requires teamwork and cooperation. I'll get to that in a little bit. But first things first, it's C by default is your crafting menu, and basic survival is where you're going to start out with. So from the beginning, you want to make a hatchet, you want to make twine, you want to make everything in this list in order to unlock everything else in the list and move on from this tree into the more complicated ones that require a little bit more experience with the game. Basic one is where you start out fresh. Now, in order to unlock anything down on the tier list, you're going to need to craft as you go. So say I want to get to the twine-bound pouch, which will increase my carry weight. I have to first make the water skin. Now, I can make the twine-bound pouch. Having made it, it should automatically equip onto my inventory. As you can see, now my carry weight's increased. And you also saw by doing that, I got some sparks. Sparks of genius. This is, all of this is required for tech advancement for your faction. So if I go over here to research, I can see how far this clan has advanced using their sparks. They got most of the T1, some T2 and beyond. And each individual spark is used for their own tech trees. In order to unlock the next tier of research, you have to research at least 3 of T1. They've gotten 4. Same thing with this. You need to fill up each pip. So you need to research 3 different things in T2 to get to T3. There's a leveling system, a talent system in this game. And this is where you diversify yourself from the rest of the team for your faction. There are 4 classes to choose from: Assassin, Warlord, Pathfinder, and Shaman. And I can boil them down into Assassin being your general DPS, Warlord being kind of your support tank, more tanky. Pathfinder is all around life skills, and I'll recommend this in a bit. Shaman is more of your support. Now, I go for a Pathfinder Shaman build because I'm more of a gatherer and builder for my teams. But the important thing in skill trees is that you go for anything investment-wise. If you're going for specifically gathering, you have anything from experience in action, which is increasing skill experience, and skill experience, K on keybind. This is more akin to RuneScape in that you have to do an activity to be better at that activity. So woodcraft, as you can see, is level 14. I've chopped some trees and got my woodcraft level up. Now, there are perks inside of these separate from talents. These are completely separate from talents, and you can only choose between one of the 2 as you level up. And you only get 4 per skill, so choose a bit wisely. But for woodcraft, Wisdom of the Wild is pretty good for skill experience. It's another investment skill to go into. Strength is just reducing carry weight, but you can easily forego that with more of these. There are different containers, backpacks you can research that will up your carry weight. Metallurgy is also a good one because of Forceful Swing, dealing 500% harvest damage. Metal nodes are notoriously difficult to chip through. They take quite a while. That's more of a quality of life than it is an investment perk. Botany has one as well. Friend of the Flower for increasing yields of plants. Toughest Fiber for increasing tensile vine. And Angel Braids, those are incredibly rare resources. The Angel Braid's incredibly rare. Tensile, you start to accumulate over time. It's still a bit difficult. But let's go over Pathfinder and Shaman, which is what I use, so it's the one I have most experience with. I've banked some talent points, which you, as you can see on the bottom here, is your XP bar. You get 1 talent per level. So let's go through Pathfinder. Marathon Runner is good for stamina reduction when you're sprinting, so it's good to have at least 1 or 2 points in that. Oh, and if you spend a point, you permanently choose the archetype. I have yet to find any method of respecking. I do not believe it's in the game, so be mindful of that when you're choosing your talents. Let's put 2 in Marathon Runner and Experience in Action. Let's put 3, and now that I have 5 talent points spent in this column, I can move on to the next one. Now, you can only choose one of these 3 abilities before moving on to the next column. Rock Swing, reducing falling speed by 80% for 10 seconds. It will go a long way to negate fall damage because it's all momentum based. Trailblazing, hitting the same target 3 times in a row, grants a burst of movement speed for 5 seconds. That is nice, but there is an internal cooldown in the system to prevent Trailblazing from continually proccing. Tangle Shot is more of a PvP move, so I'll go Trailblazing. Pack Rat is reducing raw materials by 5% per rank. Quite nice for a gatherer like myself. Heat resistance and cold resistance, that'll come into play going anywhere into a T2 zone. There are zones along the map. We start off in Earthhome, and off to my sides you can see Stag's Wood, both sides. Further beyond that, you can see kind of the snow-capped mountains. Just before that is a T2 zone, which I'm going to need cold-resistant armor to survive in. Back to the talents, I do enjoy Pack Rat. Untangled reduces the effectiveness of movement impairing effects by 5% per rank, which would go against Tangle Shot. So if someone has Tangle Shot hitting you, it helps. But I tend to dump all my points into Pack Rat, just to reduce raw material weight. Forage is a really nice gathering ability, but I find it's a hit and miss. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Exhausting Shots is a fantastic PvP move because it can basically dehydrate your enemy to death. Bonfire is super crucial for any type of group play because it helps negate the cold of the T2 zone I mentioned earlier. Man's best friend is mount movement speed. It's great for pets. There is taming in this game, and that's what the Shaman tree is for. I'm going to go through that in a minute. Hunting partner is hunted mark on target, and dealing critical hit will deal bonus physical damage based on you and your pet's combined level, which is very, very good if you can grind out your pet's level to a much higher rank than yourself. Man vs. Wild is 1% chance per rank to find edible resources from harvesting any resources. Not gonna lie, it's a pretty garbage talent right there. We're gonna go with carry speed and attack. One more in attack. Bestial Fury. Increase the damage and your pet's damage by 20% for 20 seconds. I don't know about that one. Cleanse instantly removes all poison, disease, and wound effects. This world is trying to kill you all the time. Pretty smart investment right there. Pathfinder's Resolve. Killing a target increases the armor of you and your pet by 1, stacking to 50, and removed on death. That is a lifelong talent. I'm going to go invest in that one. And then you have your mastery perks for each tree. This one is Harvest Speed, Rare Resource Find, and Max Carry Weight. That is a really good one if you are like myself, a gatherer. Shaman is more of your support class and aid in pet taming. The benefit to the Shaman is in this game, if you were to select a server, it'll tell you the reckoning dates, the reckoning times. What the reckoning is, your shields will drop on your village, which you can see in the distance there, the light purple tree and the shielding around it. The shields will drop around your main village on predetermined times and schedules, depending on the server settings. It starts out with a PvE assault of your bases. It's meant to weaken you up. But the more important thing is because this is a 3-faction 20v20v20 game, the other 2 factions are available to siege you as well, and the other factions can remove the score that you have, the spirits and souls you collect throughout the game. On the tree behind it, you can see that is the scoreboard of my team, if you would. Going back to the talents through Shaman, because the reckoning is such a crucial thing for Shaman, because the reckoning makes it perpetual night, and there is a day-night cycle in this game. During the night, Shaman can receive numerous buffs, this one being one of them, harvesting speed at night by 2% per rank. Knight's Embrace, which helps your health regeneration and allows for health regeneration in combat. And Witching Hour increases the damage you deal by 3% per rank. That is a fantastic one. I'm not super into Twilight Reaper because the harvesting speed doesn't quite matter. There's never a time when you're in incredible duress while harvesting. I do recommend Essence Surge because it restores... Oh, let's confirm. It restores health, it restores energy, water, and gives you a burst of movement speed. I tend to max this out. It is fantastic to have. Banish is great for PvP because you banish people to the Spirit Realm. And the Spirit Realm is, if I have... Oh, I don't quite have enough points to get Rend the Veil. The Spirit Realm is the Upside Down, if you would. It has a factor in taming. It's where the monsters from the Reckoning come from. And it's a great way to avoid the enemy, because when you're in the Spirit Realm, people in the physical plane cannot hit you, they can only see you. The benefit to being in the Spirit Realm is you can also interact with chests, containers, crafting benches. You really have no limitation aside from the Spirit Sickness, which I believe Ethereal Constitution can go a long way to help. There is Other Side Dweller, which reduces the effect of Spirit Sickness suffered while in the Spirit Realm. And Spirit Sickness increases your energy drain, water drain, and is just awful to be in for a long time. We're going to go ahead with Spectral Light, which summons a light to illuminate your path and increase your perception. What that does, the light, it replaces your torch. There is quite a lot of dark areas, and in fact the swamp to the northwest is a bit dark at night. There is also Conjure Mystical Bow, which uses Spirit Residue to conjure a mystical bow that lasts for 10 minutes. Spirit Residue is a material granted to you by the village for contributing to victory, contributing spirits. I'm going to go also ahead with Knight's Embrace, just all of it. And Eventide Healing for granting an aura that heals me for 5 health and nearby allies for 2 every 5 seconds. Eventide Healing is fantastic because it counters effects such as deep wounds, flesh wounds, and swamp sickness. All of these can hurt you quite a bit. Swamp sickness removes all other forms of healing over time except for Eventide Healing. So it's a great way to keep alive in the swamp so long as you have food and all that. Spirit Arrow just replaces traditional arrows, which deals bonus damage against tameable creatures or bonus spirit damage against targets that cannot be tamed. You do have to do quite a bit to get taming done. I'll cover that another time. Spirit Step, activate to cross over the Spirit Realm and gain a burst of movement speed for 10 seconds, is fantastic, like I said, to avoid combat, avoid the enemy, or a little surprise attack if, you know, they don't see your ghost. Witching Hour is what I max out, absolutely, because it's 3% per rank damage dealt at night. And night lasts quite a bit in this game. Increases maximum... Oh, Enlightened Mind, increasing maximum spirit capacity by 10% per rank. That's not as important because there is utility bags you can get to increase your spirit capacity, and even then you shouldn't really be holding that many spirits at once. Walker of Two Worlds, while in the Spirit Realm, you deal 4% more damage and gain 3% more movement speed. So say an enemy shaman thinks he's smart and can walk between worlds. You can chase him down and do much more damage to him on that spirit plane. It also helps with eliminating the monsters that are in the spirit world themselves. And Rend the Veil is one I recommend above all else because it allows you to make a 10-minute long portal into the spirit world for anyone to use and escape from. So it's great helping people to tame animals because they need to be in the spirit world to tame. It's also great to avoid a lot of the higher difficulty monsters in, say, the swamp or the highlands when you are just a bit too undergeared for it or getting back to your body. Do keep in mind, if you die in the spirit realm, your body stays in the spirit realm, you have to go back in to loot it. There's also Spiritual Empowerment, calling upon the Old God. You empower yourself and all nearby allies, causing 20% bonus damage as spirit damage. That's a great, beneficial PvP move. So the Shaman does have PvP abilities. Killing a target grants you 0.2% spell cooldown reduction, stacking up to 50 times, and removes on death. That doesn't sound like much, but when Rend the Veil takes 30 minutes on cooldown, it's pretty important. I assume that Spiritual Empowerment also has quite a significant cooldown, which is where this comes into play. The Mystic Mastery, reducing all spell cooldowns by 40%. That's pretty significant. It just cuts Rend in half. But that is my recommendation for the Pathfinder and Shaman build. If you are a gatherer like myself or a builder like myself, it is fantastic to maintain an area around the village and get everything, all the raw resources that your team needs to succeed or to make higher gear. And that's the Shaman Pathfinder Gatherer build.